So I think this is the second football-related video I've ever done. The first one was some Madden series that I never did anything with. And I don't know a lot of stuff about football, schemes and that type of stuff. I don't know every player in the league or anything. This is not like me talking about basketball where I think I know some things. But I have been a Patriots fan my entire life. And a little bit of this is going to be me attempting to talk about the actual X's and O's of football, and some of it's just going to be more just straight off the top stuff. But given where we are with the NBA not being a thing, hey, you know, why not? So, it's pretty wild, to say the least. I mean, Tom Brady has been a constant in my life, basically since I was 7 or 8 years old, something like that. And to be honest, it kind of made football not as interesting for me throughout the years because my team was always pretty boring in a way. It was kind of like a wake me up in week 15 or something and then I'll start caring about the playoffs. I mean, you hear about some people who are all in every single Sunday for football. I didn't need to do that because I always knew my team was going to be good, you know? And a lot of that was because of Brady. Now, of course, there's a conversation to be had about Brady or Belichick, which one is really the mastermind behind this whole thing. And I am confident in Belichick keeping the team afloat, and we'll talk about that in a moment. At least I'll do my best. But there's a case to be made that without Brady, none of it happens, right? Not just the clutch performances and the game-winning drives and all that stuff, but it's just the consistency and the reliability of Brady year in, year out, game to game, all that type of stuff. I mean, again, I don't know. I can't name you the starting quarterback of every NFL team. I can't. I can name you more than like 3, but I can definitely not name every team's. But I do know that teams shuffle QBs over the span of a few years, and they'll draft someone hoping that he can be the guy, and whatever the guy means. I mean, is it Brady, Manning, Breeze, Rodgers level? I guess. I don't know. And very few quarterbacks end up getting to that point, but teams will hold on to that guy just being like, well, it's tough enough to get a decent quarterback and we got one, so we might as well hold on to, you know, insert whoever, Alex Smith, Andy Dalton. I mean, the Bucs have tried it with Jameis Winston for years now, and he's in the news about a potential guy the Patriots could get. And so to never have to worry about that, it was a luxury that I took for granted as a football fan. I mean, you look at just the other teams in the Patriots division between the Dolphins, the Bills, the Jets, and those teams were constantly just hoping, is this the quarterback that can finally lead this team? Not even for 10, 15, 20 years, but just for 5. You know what I mean? So I guess the Patriots could potentially be entering into that sort of a world now. I mean, we see it sometimes with teams where receivers are good, the offensive and defensive lines are good, the coach might not even be bad, and yet the quarterback is just simply not good enough. I mean, the example that I can think of is the Jags, what was it, 2 or 3 years ago, where everything was good, but then they had Bortles as a QB. And it's like, if the Patriots don't do well over the next 24 hours potentially, that could be the world that they're living in, you know, where Belichick, he still does a great job of finding these dudes who no one's ever heard of out of some college that you didn't even know existed, and then he turns them into a decent defensive back, and it doesn't matter because the QB is just mediocre. Not even bad, just blah. And weirdly enough, it does make the next few seasons for the Patriots, for me, more interesting because, again, I wasn't watching them a lot in the regular season for the past 20 years because I'm just like, they'll be fine. Now, sure, I would watch when they were playing a really good team, you know, a national game. Well, every football game is a national game, but you know what I mean, the real big ones. Or, well, then of course I'd watch in the postseason, but that was it. I wasn't watching like week 3 against the 0-3 whatever team you want to come up with. You know, I wasn't watching those games the way that other people were. Maybe I actually will now. Maybe. I don't know. Football is still not like that for me for various reasons. Some of it is because of just the way it's telecasted. Like, I really hate how it's focusing on the QB. I wish it was more like the Madden Cam where I could see what's happening downfield, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen. But again, it could be more interesting to watch the Patriots just because of the unknown, even if they don't win a Super Bowl over the next 20 years. But if we move on to my attempt to look at different QBs or whatever, I know Bridgewater has kind of become the guy for the Panthers. This Cam Newton situation has gone off the rails pretty quickly, apparently. Could Cam be the guy? I mean, he's 30. He might be 31 when the season begins. I haven't actually looked at his birthday. There's also a chance football doesn't start for reasons that, yeah. Cam, I mean, he's a safer bet than Jameis Winston, right? The thing with Cam is he could be the best of both worlds in terms of the runner and passer, and hopefully he's actually healthy. And could Belichick turn Cam Newton into whatever? Potentially. I mean, Brady couldn't move for the last 7-8 years of his career, so I mean, he could barely move even when he was athletic, but Cam is of course farther along there, even if his best running days are probably behind him. But the other thing is, would Cam be okay? And I might sound like a complete moron on this one, because for all I know, the Panthers offense for the last decade has been a lot of short passes, but would he be okay with the short passing game that the Patriots have made their own for so long? But even then, it's with Brady, part of the reason why they had to throw so many short passes is because they couldn't go long anymore, I mean, it wasn't like the Randy Moss year, or 3 years, or whatever that was. So there's a chance we could see more Patriots deep ball stuff besides 1 or 2 times a game, so there's that. I mean, the best coaches are able to just see what their guys are good at and then shift the game plan to fit that guy's needs, similar to what the Ravens have done with Lamar Jackson. So perhaps Belichick could do a similar thing with Cam, if Cam Newton even ends up being the guy. If it's Andy Dalton, then okay. I mean, he's a lot more boring than Cam is, but sometimes boring is good. Just it goes a little bit back to the Brady reliability thing, but Dalton is simply not as good as Brady. I mean, it's just kind of mediocre. Not great, not horrible, occasionally very good, occasionally bad, pretty much. Then, of course, you say, well, you put him under Belichick, maybe it'll be better. Okay, fine, fair, whatever. Again, this is all me attempting to, have an opinion on this type of thing. I'll tell you right now, I have no idea who the hell the Bengals have had at receiver since Chad Johnson. So, take this all however you will with me talking about this. The scary one is Jameis Winston, because that guy throws interceptions like mad, and I feel like Belichick would end up fighting him. But who knows? Maybe Belichick is just such a mastermind that you could put anybody under center for him and he'll find a way. I mean, there was the 11-5 season with Matt Castle, and they didn't make the playoffs because of the NFL's division rules or whatever. I think that's all I got. Are NFL videos going to be more of a thing? No, because I honestly don't know more than maybe 20-something players in the entire league, especially if you don't allow me to pick all the obvious quarterbacks. So it would be difficult for me. I don't know what the hell a 3-4 is. I don't know what a 4-3, a nickel, a dime. I don't know what any of these things are. I've heard of them before. Don't ask me what the specifics are. So, yeah.